Hey guys, this is Barney here. Today I'm gonna do a TV show review, or a rant is gonna be a 2018 PBS Kids series, and that one is Pinkalicious and Peterrific. This show is the very bane of my existence. I loathe this show with every fiber of my being. I despise it with the fire of 1,000 suns. The biggest reason for this is how ridiculous the made-up words are, like Pinkalicious. If they at least used words that made sense with pink, like Pinkalicious, it wouldn't be so bad, but they don't. Instead they throw in ridiculous made-up words and everything has to be pink this and pink that. Drives me nuts. I would watch Super Why better than this. There is something drastically wrong with the world when a kids show is about nothing but a spoiled brat who is constantly whining because she does not get her way all the time and her parents are constantly at her beck and call. This show is worse than Kalu, and that is saying a lot. There is zero learning going on in the show. I'm not even sure it is teaching anything but how to act spoiled. The character is an entitled little brat who thinks, literally, the world revolves around her. Seriously, there is no creativity to this show. The theme is a kid who is obsessed with the color pink who forces everyone and everything around her to also be obsessed with pink. It is way over the top, obnoxious, and is enough to induce vomiting. I will not be allowing my child to watch this show for the kind of behavior it promotes. This is the worst show on PBS by any standard. This show sends the wrong messages to kids of any age. The storylines are terrible. For example, she leaves her soccer team in the middle of a game to go get her hair done. She's very self-centered and causes problems and the adults indulge her. This show and the books are not for my family. My 5-year-old daughter likes the show for the colors, but the show is among the worst I've seen for kids. I've finally put my foot down and barred it from the family TV. The entire universe revolves around Pinkalicious. Every episode features the main character roping the others into some inane plot that ends with her saving the day in some utterly unrealistic way, and I believe this sets the stage for encouraging narcissistic behavior in kids. Also, if your child is this obsessed with any color, explore therapy, because something has gone horribly wrong. This says nothing about the show's obsession with classic gender roles. Across the board, it's the weakest, most poorly written, and most frustrating show on PBS Kids. Pinkalicious is the center of the universe according to this show. Everyone else, including her parents, brother, and the entire town kowtow to Pink swims. While some of this is supposed to be imaginary, that won't be clear to young children. Pink is bratty and demanding. There aren't any clear educational or interpersonal messages to take away from this show. It's just Pink bossing people around and playing, a strikingly out-of-touch representation of gender identity. Even the storylines are markedly conservative in the worst way when compared with the otherwise terrific programs on PBS Kids. It just reinforces notions of gender exclusivity and expression in ways that we don't want our son to be any part of. I don't allow my kids to watch this show. At first I did, but after a few episodes I watched with them I realized that this show is just garbage. The main character acts like a spoiled little princess that must get her way or else, and the overuse of pink not only in color but vocabulary is just overused and irritating. Honestly, this show must get cancelled. It's just don't belong in PBS Kids. There's nothing educational about this show, literally nothing to be learned. Again, till it gets removed from the air I will continue to change the channel every time it comes on the air. For 3-5-year-olds. This show attempts to teach good lessons but fails to make it interesting, fascinating, or fun. The characters are annoying and the stories are really stupid. It also isn't that realistic and the characters aren't that attachable. What kid would like this? They're spending too much time hating it. Their website, https://pubskids.org/pinkalicious/ in the era of women standing up for themselves and being recognized. What we need less of is little girls in pink dresses using only glitter and imagination while her family, if not the whole town, obsess over everything she does, fawning over her and hand-waving away any mistakes she makes. The brother is, as with the rest of the family, wholly devoted to service to the pink sparkly princess. He is just a set piece, and the dialogue is so filled with the word pink that it makes the Smurfs look Oscar-worthy. Another white girl whose only experience with STEM is what she finds on the cherry of her pink food. No father to be seen, and the mother, who seems to have no job except patting her children on the head, magics up some unbelievable inventions that would literally change the world, but instead lets her daughter play with them in her imaginary world with no connection back to the real world. I need a better message for my young daughter. And while every show on PBS shows use of imagination and art, most of the others show integration of real technology and in prestigious positions of science. Even in the imaginary world of Wild Kratts, Technomajaviva and computer expert Koki show my daughter that girls can be more than sparkle princesses. They can be inventors, creators, and scientists. There is no place in this post-Me Too world for a show that treats a little girl like a mindless blob, and even her name Pink plus Delicious is creepy. Why is her brother terrific while she is delicious? When would you ever use that word to describe a little girl? It is a terrible show and I refuse to let my daughter see it, because I'm raising her to be a scientist. This show is even worse than Caillou and Peppa Pig. Not only is it always about Pink this and Pink that, they never stop talking about Pink, but it's also gay too. Like in the episode The New Girl, when Iris Curtsy moves in, she has two fathers, which one of them said, "This is my husband, Ivan." Like what the heck? Not only is it always about Pink, but it's also gay too. I can't stand this show and thankfully my kids aren't that crazy about it either. The main character, Pinkalicious, is a terrible role model for young kids. She only likes Pink ... everything. I have nothing against Pink ... My kids like it too, but Pinkalicious is completely inflexible. Everything has to be pink. She once needed new shoes and they didn't have pink ones at the store and she refused to get another color. I don't want my kids to think her behavior or her inflexibility are okay. The world isn't monochromatic and Pinkalicious teaches that it's okay to refuse to adapt, and to expect that the world will just adapt to you, and her family and community usually do exactly that. When I hear the theme song, I just change the channel. Anyways, I'm rating this show a 2 out of 10. What's to like? What's the point of the show? What does it teach? It's annoying every time I hear her say Pink A perfect or Pink amazing or anything like that. Anyways, that's all for this video.